Every night at exactly 3 a.m., I heard footsteps in the stairwell outside my apartment. My apartment is on the 7th floor of an old building downtown. The kind with thick walls and creaking pipes. The kind where you get used to the ambient noise, the hum of the elevator, distant conversations, the occasional door slamming somewhere down the hall. But this was different. At precisely 3 a.m., I'd wake up to the sound of multiple people walking down the stairs just outside my door, not rushing, not talking, just a slow, steady procession descending the stairwell. At first, I told myself it had explanations: shift workers, insomniacs, people with reasons to be awake at that hour. But it happened every night, always at 3 a.m., always the same pace. Last Tuesday, I decided to check. I set my alarm for 2:55 a.m. and stood by my door with the lights off, my eye pressed to the peephole, waiting. At exactly 3 a.m., the hallway light flickered on. Then they came. Mrs. Chen from 7B walked past first. She moved slowly, deliberately, wearing her floral nightgown. Her eyes were open, but there was nothing behind them. No awareness, no recognition. Then Marcus from 7D. Then the college girl from 7A, whose name I never learned. One by one, every resident of the 7th floor filed past my door and headed for the stairs. Their footsteps were perfectly synchronized. Step, step, step. I counted 17 people, every resident of my floor except me. They all had the same vacant expression, moving like sleepwalkers, but with too much coordination, too much purpose. I should have locked my door and pretended I never saw anything, but I didn't. 30 seconds after the last one passed, I opened my door and followed them. The stairwell was colder than it should have been. My breath came out in small clouds as I descended, keeping several flights between myself and the procession below. I could hear them ahead of me, that steady rhythm of footsteps echoing through the concrete shaft. Step, step, step. I passed the 6th floor, the 5th, the 4th. As I reached the 3rd floor landing, something felt wrong. The footsteps below hadn't stopped. They should have reached the ground floor by now, but they were still going, still descending. Our building only has 7 floors and 1 basement level for storage and laundry. There was nowhere else to go, but the sound kept moving downward. Down, down, down. I pushed through the basement door. The storage cages and flickering lights should have been there. They weren't. Instead, the stairwell continued downward. The walls shifted from painted concrete to rough stone. The air grew thicker, colder, harder to breathe. And still, I could hear them below me. 3 flights beneath the basement, I saw the first door. It was set into the stone wall, heavy wood bound with iron. Medieval-looking, completely out of place. There was no handle, no lock. As I stepped closer, I heard something on the other side. Scratching, slow, deliberate, like fingernails dragged across wood. I backed away and continued down, past another door, then another, then 6 more, each identical, each with the same scratching sound behind it. Then the footsteps below me stopped. Silence, except for the scratching. I descended the final flight and entered a long stone corridor lit by torches. Real flames, real smoke. My neighbors stood in a circle at the far end, all 17 of them, still vacant, still silent. They weren't alone. A figure stood in the center, tall, inhumanly tall. It wore something that might have been robes, or might have been its own skin. I couldn't tell in the shifting firelight. It reached out and touched Mrs. Chen's forehead with one long finger. She gasped. For a single moment, her eyes focused, filled with absolute terror, then went vacant again. When she lowered her head, a symbol was burned into her skin. The figure moved to the next person, touched, gasped, marked. Then it stopped. Its head turned toward me. I couldn't see eyes. I couldn't see a face, but it knew I was there. It started moving toward me, too smoothly, like it was gliding instead of walking. I ran. I took the stairs 3 at a time, my heart hammering. Behind me, I heard something following. Not footsteps. Something like wind rushing through a tunnel, like breath through broken teeth. I burst through the basement door, across the lobby, and up the stairwell on the other side. I didn't stop until I reached my floor. I locked every lock, pushed my couch against the door, turned on every light. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, everything looked normal. Mrs. Chen was checking her mail. Marcus was leaving for work. The college girl was dragging her laundry basket toward the elevator. They all had small marks on their foreheads, barely visible, like old scars. They noticed me staring and smiled. "Good morning," Mrs. Chen said cheerfully. I didn't respond. I packed my things and left. I'm in a hotel now, across town. I thought I was safe. But last night, at exactly 3 a.m., I heard footsteps in the hallway. Different people this time, other guests from my floor. And at the end of the line, I saw Mrs. Chen. She stopped outside my door, looked straight at the peephole. Her eyes weren't vacant anymore. She smiled and tapped the mark on her forehead. The scratching started 3 hours ago. It hasn't stopped. When 3 a.m. comes tonight, I know I'm going to open this door, because I've been checking the mirror every hour, and the mark is already starting to appear on my forehead.